Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 bum. Look, a little intro music. I don't know. I got to find some cool intro music. It's like the news. Like, ba, 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 ba. Episode 169. I hear all you little children out there laughing. Let's have some fun. Episode 169 of the Hobby of the Cage, brought to you by Bleaker Trading, brought to you by My Slabs, and brought to you by Arena Club. I got a fun title for today. First, it's Mercury, but they're headed for Uranus. I'm such a child. I don't care how you slice and dice this Mercury, Wemby craziness. It's a success for them. A fun little note and aside, it looks like one of the parallels, one of the cards has it's sort of like a negative refractor. It's got a weird name to it too, but it shows the NBA logo on the card, on both the back of his jersey and the back of a sleeve that he's wearing with the NBA logo. And question about the propriety of that when they don't have that license. But that's for another day. Somebody sent me some pictures of that. It's going to be interesting. But for today, let's talk Mercury and what it means. Let's do some quick math. They did not come out with production numbers, so you don't know how many of these are out. But they do have a checklist, and they do have, the parallels listed, the numbers listed, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist, and I'm not one, to figure out what you got going on here. Each one of these cases, each one of these boxes has two layers. It has base and parallel cards on the top layer. On the bottom, it's got 3 cards, an insert card, as well as a rookie patch auto and an auto that doesn't have a patch in it. So each one of these boxes has one of each of those. The checklist has 10 different versions of each of those cards. So the autograph card has 10, WA1, WA2, all the way through WA10. And then there's the patch rookies, autograph relic cards. They are WAR1, WAR2, all the way to 10. All right. And each one of those, the patch and the auto, each one of those has parallels for the autograph. There's the base, which is out of 99, out of 75 blue, out of 50 gold, out of 35 white, out of 25 orange, out of 10 black, out of 5 red, and 1 of 1 superfractor. If you add up everything I just gave you, that is 300 of each version of the auto. So 300 times 10 is 3,000. Easy stuff. 3,000 of the autos without a patch and 3,000 of the autos with a patch. Now, there's also an additional couple of insert autographs, and there's also a couple of dual autographs. The dual autographs, there's a checklist of 6 of them. You got a duel with Lebron, duel with Shaq, Stroud, Robinson, Tony Parker, and Jason Kidd. 5 of those have an out of 10, out of 5, and out of 1. So 16 of each times 5 is what? Anybody? 80? Plus the LeBron doesn't have out of 10. It's just an out of 5 and an out of 1. So 86 additional autos there. And the inserts similarly have out of 10s, out of 5s, and it's a checklist of 10. So there's 16 of each autograph insert and 10, 160. So another 246 additional inserts for a grand total of 6,246 Wemby autographs in this. But there's 3,000 of each of those autograph patches and autographs. That means there's 3,000 boxes at $8,000 a piece, which is $24 million. Why stop our flying money shuttle at Mercury? Forget about to the moon. They're headed for Uranus. If this is a successful launch, is Wemby the only person they're going to do it with? You don't think that they do a limited edition one of LeBron or Messi or whoever else they have under contract to sign autographs to put these cards together. I think Backyard broke 100 of these. I think they did 100 box break. Sounds like a lot. But when it's 3,000, what is that? They did 1/30th. So 3 and change percent by Backyard alone. Jeff Wilson showed a picture. It looked like he had 20 boxes of it himself. I was on Hobby House. They broke at least 20 cases in the first day. I'm sure they're breaking more. 3,000 is a lot, but when you start adding up 100 here, 20 here, 20 there, 20 here, plus the ones that probably got sold to individuals, and each store probably took 1 or 2. I'm sure they sold out. They did keep the window open for the EQL launch yesterday, longer than they kept the Chrome Sapphire window open. The Sapphire window was open for an hour. I think this was open for either 4 or 5 hours. Curious to see what the secondary market on these is going to be. Whether or not they sell for a significant amount of money. I didn't see too many people in the breaks opening, full-on Percy's. I didn't see them, the $10,000 opening of a box. Maybe it's because, when those things were there, you could still have the chance to get a box yourself for $8,000. So why pay the full markup for the whole thing? I saw a lot of people entering breaks, though. Definitely an interesting product. I guess we're going to see what winds up happening with it. Excuse me. What winds up happening with it for the next month or so, right? What happens with secondary sales, and what the impact of the sales are with with the other ones. But the regular Chrome autos, the Tops Now autos, all these all the autos that were out there. You had a very limited universe of Wemby autos for sale, and the prices were high. And there are thousands of those autos being dumped on the market. It's going to be interesting to see what happens not only to these cards from this release where they kind of settle in, but also what happens to the other cards that were out there before this, and whether or not the price of everything kind of falls down, which is what you should expect, right? I mean, you got all this supply coming in. But really what it had me thinking about is, and I'd love some comments on this, what would you do next? What do you think? Would you do another one of these? Would you never do one of these again? If you were Fanatics and you see, look what they were able to do here. I mean, it's a huge, pile of money being made on this, right? What athlete would you do next? What kind of chase would you have? Do you do a Messi and a LeBron? And then do you have like a dual LeBron Messi in each one of those for them to chase? They did the sleeping Curry in Tops Now. I mean, they're getting creative with that kind of cross sports stuff. You could see the Stroud and Wemby dual Rookie of the Year dual autos that they have in this Mercury product. It's kind of cool. What's funny about this is I got a lot of great messages yesterday, and I wanted to kind of summarize them for you guys in the episode, and then kind of see what you guys thought. Right? You can DM me afterwards too. That's how usually when I say, "Hey, give me what you thought." Some people put it in the YouTube comments here. Most people message me. One person was, the vast majority of people were attacking the product, saying this is a cash grab, saying it was poorly done, saying it's ridiculous, saying, they're plain, every card looks the same, and, it's going to crater the whole market, and, who wants this stuff, and it looks like Leaf, and, all of that stuff. But one person said, I don't mind it because think about what we had before. Think about what we had with Panini. You want to call this a cash grab? Think about all of the redemptions that were out there, all of the, the non-filled redemptions that were out there. Think about the cost of a box like National Treasures or of a Flawless by comparison. And sure, you're chasing the top rookie in that, just like you're chasing a Wembenyama 1 of 1 here or out of 5 or a dual auto. But for the most part, in those boxes, you had crap. And while the cost to the dealers wasn't crazy by Panini, So Panini wasn't making as much money. They weren't selling them for $8,000. The markup was significant, and the cost to the consumers was high. And you were paying $4,000 or $5,000 for a National Treasures box and getting an RPA of someone you did not want. At least in this, you know what you're getting. You're getting autographs of Wemby. And I like that comment. I mean, because it was looking at it from a larger lens, right? Like, all right, maybe you don't like this, but it's something different. And while it's expensive, it's not significantly more expensive than buying a box of National Treasures. And, you know, when the Flawless chase was going on, people were opening Flawless boxes. It was significantly more money than this Mercury product. And I saw a lot of Flawless open. That was crap. I mean, you were chasing a triple auto, of course. Everybody's chasing, you know, LeBron, the triple logo man. Everybody's chasing those cards. But a lot of boxes had crap, like real crap. At least, you know, I don't like the word floor, right? It's like a repacking term, but, you know, it's what I would use for this. It's not a repack, right? But there is a floor here. You know, if you're buying a box of this, you know you're getting 2 Wemby autos. You have a shot at some craziness. You could get 3. You know, if you get an insert auto or a dual, you could get a low number. I mean, but if you don't, you're getting 2 numbered autos out of 99. Previously, unnumbered ones were thousands of dollars. So, I mean, what's funny about it is when you take a step back from it, maybe you don't like the aesthetics of it. Maybe you don't like the way that it's done. But we talk about, you know, repack products being, you know, the next rage, the next thing, right? Because you were buying into them with a chance at some upside. Usually not a huge upside, but there's upside, right? There's upside. I mean, Arena, like I said, somebody just got a Luka gold kaboom out of one, so there is some significant upside in them. But, you know, most of the repacks are, you know, you have a floor here and you got upside to here. There's a ceiling, too. Think about what the ceiling is in this. You know, think about what, you know, these one-of-one autos are, or the LeBron Wemby Superfractor Dual, what that, you know, upside is there. Significant upside. But the downside, the floor is also there. You know what I mean? Because you know that at the very least, you're getting 2 Wemby autos. I mean, that's what drove the repacks, right? Like, you bought a $100 repack because you knew no matter what, you were getting a card that was worth at least $50. Whereas if you bought wax, you weren't guaranteed to get 50% of your value back. Most of the time, you got 10% of your value back if you were lucky. Now, the flip side to this, anybody who's been around collecting long enough, the history of player-specific releases is not a good one. And even for Jordan, if you look at the collectability of cards, even limited cards, even numbered cards, Upper Deck made a bunch of Michael Jordan releases. Ones that even had autos in them. They did not do well. They did not hold up well. They do not sell well now by comparison to other cards. Now, these were all in packs. These are being broken. These are randomized. It's a little different than some of the, you know, Upper Deck Michael Jordan products. But just to kind of throw a little bit of cold water on top of how, you know, the good stuff that I'm talking about here, the historical data for player-specific releases, which is what this is, it's not the greatest thing on earth. But I got to tell you, I mean, I don't love all of it, right? Because I don't love that it was released early to just the Fanatics Live people, and I don't love that, you know, exactly what I thought was going to happen happened. One of the big hits was pulled before it even was released. Like, I will tell you right now, because I can speak on behalf of me, I was going to buy a box during the release. And watching how many things had been, you know, already come out, and also being able to break and, you know, buy into breaks and you name it, the whole deal. I did not buy a box. I did not. So the early release day and the cards being hit, and, you know, look, You could say it was the best card. You could, Fanatics, can call it a grail, not call it a grail. You could say it's a top 3 card. Obviously the LeBron, Wemby dual auto refractor, super refractor, excuse me, is a huge card. It's still out there. It lessened my desire to buy in and buy a box. I also will say that the early release day made it harder for me to want to buy a box at 8 and change with tax and shipping and the whole deal. Because I watched enough of the boxes to know that there might be a better strategy for it. You might be better off buying into some breaks. And I'll tell you what I did. I bought in 2 breaks on the Hobby House in Florida. Hopefully you guys are doing all right through the storm. And I steered clear of the RPA. Now, there are different prices, different breakers, but the RPA was basically selling for half the box price in some places, which meant that you could get the auto spot for cheaper. $2,500 to $2,700, $2,800. Some places are like $3,100, but call it $5,000 for 2 of them if you want, right? To me, when you look at the Chrome non-numbered auto selling for $1,500, if you have a chance at pulling a nice one in a break, but your floor is an out of 99 auto, a numbered on card from this release for less than $3,000, to me, that's worth it, because what's your downside there? If you sell it, you lose a little bit of money. Okay, great. Might just keep them anyway. But you got upside. You could hit a 1 of 1. You could hit it out of 5 red, out of 10. Turns out the 2 that I bought, I got it out 35 white, a white out of 35, and a gold out of 50. Kind of cool. Not 1 of 1s, but numbered, on card, a gold, a white, and not crazy price when you compare it to trying to open, a box of Chrome or buying a Chrome refractor, buying a Chrome base auto, whatever it is that they have out there. Now, keep in mind, that $2,500, $3,000 for that auto might seem expensive when all of this supply dumps at the same time. And there's just not thousands of buyers immediately for a Wemby auto. Who knows? I guess we'll see what happens, and maybe we'll talk about it in a week, 2 or 3, after the supply has hit the market and we see these things, popping up on different auction houses and on eBay. But for now, it's fun to watch because it leads me to think about what can come next. And I can tell you, before they released the Chrome Sapphire through EQL, my son and I did not have a Wemby auto. We got Sapphire boxes. I bought 4 of them. So, I'm up to 4 boxes opened. Max Strus auto. Not a Wemby auto. But we got a Wemby auto. And we still have it. And now I'm going to have 2 more Wemby autos. We don't have a LeBron auto. We don't have a Messi auto. If Fanatics did something similar to this with those athletes, I would buy. I would either be a buyer of the box because I know there's a floor there. There's guaranteed 2 autos. I can get one and sell one. And maybe I have a shot at getting something that's really awesome. I can keep one and sell one. Who knows, right? Who knows? I might buy into breaks on those because I don't have a LeBron auto. I'm sure my son would like one. I don't have a Messi auto. I'm sure he would like one. Who am I leaving out? Who else could they do? What are some creative duels or triple autos or whatever it might be that they can put together with their lineup of athletes? I try to think about it like that instead of like, wow, look at the cash grab. Look, it's all about the money, 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 So they did Mercury, maybe Mars. They're headed for Uranus. Maybe that's not a bad thing. The LeBron Uranus release. Let me know what you think, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.